Welcome to Making Music, presented by Guitar Showcase in San Jose, California. Today we're featuring some Latin music, specifically salsa music, represented by the band Mambo Tropical from the Santa Cruz area. Representing the band today are the founders of the band, the bass player Jim Polizzi and the lead singer Yvette Watts, as well as the trombone player Rick Feliciano, who also sings vocals. First of all, Jim, how did this get started?
Well, it's kind of interesting. I was playing in a lot of Latin rock band. I had this Latin rock and classic rock band I was playing. Kind of got tired of doing that, and thought I'd get into something different. Mm-hmm. So I put an ad in the San Jose Metro, and was looking for a singer, and we had a lot of people responded to it. Among those was Yvette here, and she had a little demo CD, and I heard it, and I was sold from the beginning. And the girl has the pipes and has the talent for the project. So,
and what were you doing before this?
Well, I had moved up from San Luis Obispo, California, down south, and I was here, and I had been looking in the Metro myself that evening, thinking, I want to do music again, because I was in a group with my father for, almost 20 years as a child. He still plays, and he's 68 years old, and he's still going. Whoa. He has a little Latin group. He's a big guitarist, and he sings as well. And so I was missing that part of myself, because it's very much in my soul, the Latin stuff, which I used to laugh at my father, but now I absolutely love it. And I answered the ad, because I was, wanting to get into music again, and I answered the ad, and lo and behold, I got Jim Polizzi on the phone, and I met him for coffee, and we discussed what we wanted to do, and little by little we started going to clubs and meeting this musician and that musician, and we went through a lot of struggles, but...
Tell them a little bit about when I gave you the CD and you listened to the material, how you reacted to it.
Well, I always try to pretend that I can do it all, type of thing. How you try to pretend like, oh, I got it under control. And to be honest with you, I had never sung salsa in my entire life. And when he gave me the material, he said, okay, these are the songs I want to do. And so I went to my car and I stuck the CD in, and I was driving away, and I thought to myself, how on earth am I going to do this? I can't do this. I can't do this. And I was telling myself, this is unbelievably hard material. How on earth am I going to do Celia Cruz and Tito Puente and all these people? And I thought to myself, I have no experience doing this kind of music. But I thought, I'm going to give it a try. And my answer to him was, no problem. I can sing salsa.
What were you doing before?
I was just singing? Really... I sang with my father's group for many years, and then I also did a stint on Star Search, which was way back when I was 24. I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but I sang a lot of different things. I sang vocal jazz. I love jazz. Well, and I used to do the karaoke circuit, which is kind of funny. I used to do the R&B tunes, and so basically everything that I ever did and all the singers that I emulated, I kind of made it the Yvette style, whatever you want to call that, my own, a little bit of Patti, a little bit of Mariah, a little bit of,
well, you did some mariachis too.
And I sang with mariachi music as well.
Yeah. So you guys started, how big was the band at first?
Her and I.
That was it,
just the two of us.
And then we searched around, and we recruited a piano player, and ultimately a timbale player and a conga player that kind of came at once, and then
5 or 6 now.
And then we need horns now, and then Teresa Orozco came along.
And she came in, and she was just sitting in it.
She was just sitting in at the time.
And did you invite her into the band, or did she ask?
I can't remember.
We timidly, I asked him, I said, are you going to ask her, or am I going to ask her? We were scared to ask her because she was such a talent, and we found out that she played in all these different symphonies, and I thought to myself, I don't know how to ask this woman. I was taken aback because, when you see somebody that's so talented, you just don't know.
We're talking about Teresa Orozco Peterson, who's the flute player and the music director of the band.
Yeah. Okay.
And Rick, when did you get into this?
I got in a couple of years ago, right? 2 or 3 years, I think we've been playing.
Yeah. And what were you doing before that?
Well, it's a long story, but I'm from New York. I'm a New York Puerto Rican.
Wow.
And I've been playing for over 35 years, since second grade in Brooklyn, when they actually had a music program.
Wow.
And I went through that, through college and stuff. Then I got into, I recorded with a couple of artists with gospel music in Tennessee and New York and stuff. And, that went along. And then I kind of walked away from music for 4 years. I moved over here to California about 9 years ago. And I started getting back in the music scene little by little.
Were you doing any salsa back there?
Very little, mostly gospel, rock, jazz, but not salsa, although I grew up with salsa.
Yeah, because from what I hear, salsa went from Cuba to Florida to New York and then spread across the country.
Yeah, for some reason I just didn't,
It didn't hit.
Yeah, it didn't, but I grew up, listening to that.
That makes sense.
And then out here I started playing with, now I'm playing like 4 or 5 different bands now, but different styles, mostly salsa, recorded with couple more artists, John Lee Hooker Jr., the last 2 albums so far. It's doing good, the second one. But this project interests me a lot because there's something about it, I can't put my finger on it, but it's an exciting project because the music is varied. There's a lot of good talent, committed talent, which is important.
That's what I liked about the band, is this band, everybody is working at it. They're doing a beautiful job. Yeah. So you said that you started with like 5 pieces and then you start expanding piece by piece.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you got Teresa in it. And then I understand she had a lot to do with what happened next.
Yes, well,
that changed everything.
It changed everything,
Yeah, she, as being the music director, she started working on personnel, didn't she?
Oh, yeah. We ended up with, that's how we ended up with John Hal Belden.
And this wonderful,
and
talented
Rick.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah.
And then you did finally come up with an album, a CD. How long were you playing before this happened?
Well, we started actually performing in 2003. And it really was about a year after that.
About a year.
And so when we started to decide, well, let's select some songs and come up with a CD, and then there was an internal discussion of, well, maybe we should have a featured artist, perform with us to, push the CD sales along and to expand our, network of musicians and friends and that. So we, it's funny. You never know what the answer to the question is until you ask it.
Right.
So I contacted Pete Escovedo and asked him if he would be interested in performing on our CD, and he said yes. So
amazing.
The rest is history. Essentially, we recorded with him and on our first CD and performed with him quite a lot in the last year and a half.
Yeah. So this is available on your website at mambotropical.com.
It is available on our website at mambotropical.com.
Right. Okay. And you said he's still playing with you once in a while, isn't he?
Occasionally, as we.
In fact, the San Jose Jazz Festival.
We completed it last few weekends ago. We played with him at the San Jose Jazz Festival, which was phenomenal.
Yeah, there were thousands of people there.
Yeah. That was an amazing. That was my first.
Big,
I believe, venue that was of such importance. I had done no more little restaurants here and there and doing the little things.
There were several thousand people there.
More than that. It was hard to.
I think it was about 4,000 or 5,000. Yeah, it was pretty significant.
It was basically curb to curb, 3 blocks long, with people hanging off the windows and stuff.
And something just came over us. It came over her. It just all of a sudden we just hit the second realm, and it just took off. It was powerful. People hanging. When it gets into that wave, we're just hanging, or
people are connecting.
We were just connecting incredibly with everyone.
And people are asking for our autographs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we signed a lot of autographs and CDs and stuff. It was good. We hit another realm there.
Great. And you're working on another CD, I hear.
We are working on a CD of original material, some of which is written by a brother of our timbale player, Makin is our timbale player. He's from Colombia, Barranquilla, Colombia. And his brother, Richie Pla, has written 4 of the songs. Some of them are written by
I have a couple.
Rick here, and we have Orlando Castro is participating as well. He's written songs for Luis Miguel and some others. So.
Yeah, so we got a bunch of writers.
Great.
Kind of like a Fleetwood Mac thing happening.
The arrangements you guys do, are they part traditional or all original or what?
It's kind of interesting. Arrangements kind of come by hit and miss almost. I have done a lot of the arrangements, and I'm the bass player, right?
Right.
And so I put these arrangements in front of horn players, and they, what is this? change it and make it right. These guys are very professional at it, and have helped me quite a lot in arranging.
Sometimes on the fly.
Really?
But it works. You know, everyone.
Sounds great.
There's a lot of improvisation going on in this band, which that's my absolute favorite thing to do, and I think that's what makes it, in the moment is when you can do that kind of thing.